The last question today is from Olivia. Olivia said, hey guys, at what duration should movies, plays, or concerts start offering an intermission period? We recently went to a concert, Lewis, where there was an intermission, and I was surprised. I had never been to that type of show with an intermission per se. Do you have a set duration where if you're seeing a movie or a show, if it's longer than how long, do you like to see an intermission?
Yeah, that's a good question. But where do you have the intermission? I mean, I suppose if something is, let's say a movie is 4 hours long,
Right.
maybe it makes sense to have an intermission at the 2 hour point. But if something is 3.5 hours long, do you have an intermission, less than 2 hours in? That seems like it's too short. Where does the intermission go?
Yeah,
There's a lot of questions.
I went to Bryan Cranston was in LBJ and in a play in LBJ, and I went to it in New York City last year, and it was quite long. It was about 3.5 hours long, and I think they had an intermission after about an hour, and it was 3.5 hours long, start to finish, including the intermission. So I think there was about an hour and 35-ish minutes, and then there was a 15-minute break, and then there was about an hour and 20 minutes or something like that after. And it made sense. I mean, it was quite long. And I also understand when you're at a play, it's for the actors in part, not only for the audience. If I'm at a movie, I'm not into this theme now of the super long movies. If a movie is 3 hours long, I would love an intermission after an hour and a half. That's just me. I think it makes sense.
It's just not common practice, though. When was the last time you went to a movie and there was an intermission? I mean,
No, I can't. I mean, I go to very few movies, and most of them have been relatively short. I don't remember an intermission, but I think it does make sense. It's not even particularly healthy to be sitting for 2 hours in a row, right? I mean, just merely from a sort of physical mechanics standpoint, I think it makes sense to not sit at a movie longer than 2 hours. You're told that if you're driving, you should stop once an hour and like walk around your car, that even sitting for an hour is not the best thing for you. So, I mean, if you're talking about a 3 hour movie, how can you justify saying, no, everybody should just stay seated the entire time? Of course, everybody's free to get up, but then you miss part of the movie.
right, right. And I find that I usually do end up getting up,
Right.
not necessarily because I'm uncomfortable, feel I need to move around, but because I have to pee. So I'm all for intermissions, but where exactly should they go and how long should the production be for there to be an intermission? I guess if I had to pick a time, I would say 3.5 hours.
I say if it is over 2 hours and 41 minutes, there should be an intermission. That is my sense, Lewis, and I'm sticking to my guns on it, the guns I don't own nor have. That's how I feel, and quite frankly, I'd appreciate it if you eased up about it a little bit, because that's just my opinion.
Okay. I'll back off. Forgive me.
I actually mentioned this to a couple of people over the weekend, and people had very strong feelings about this. Like, a lot of people say, you must not interrupt a film because you lose the atmosphere that has been built. And if you just resume it after 15 minutes, all the tension that has been built has dissipated.
I don't think that's necessarily true. I mean, look what happens with television shows and the series. You'll watch one episode of Breaking Bad. You have to wait a week till the next one.
Or 6 months if it's a season finale.
That's true. And I don't think that in a way, it almost helps. The anticipation is building. You might rewatch one of those episodes. You're going over it in your head.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's valid.
All right. Well, there it is. Lewis has put his foot down, and that is his opinion, and you are not going to change it. That seems very, very clear. That is it for today's show. We have a fantastic bonus show coming up. Remember, davidpakman.com/membership is where you sign up to get instant access to the bonus show and all other member benefits.